Well, Dobbo, you're in the hot seat for a few weeks in Gareth's absence. It's an early kick-off at Milton Keynes Dons on Saturday. Just talk us through the week, prep-wise.
Yeah, obviously Gaz was here Tuesday, his last day with us, so we've discussed team preparation with him. Obviously hugely respectful of his role in all this whilst he's away. So, you know, the team's very much in his mould, and it is for us to carry that on. And there'll be slight differences in terms of the way that we do things. That's just natural. But you know, we have to respect the process that we've brought in as a group. You know, it's never about one person. It's about all of us. And as I said to the boys today, if somebody falls, the rest of us are here to pick him up. And in this case, it happens to be Gaz. And Gaz has picked so many people up over the years. It's our turn to pick him up and hold the fort until he returns.
And you've got a brilliant backroom staff. You've known them for quite some time now. So, although Gareth's missing, you've still got other pieces of the jigsaw that you can rely on.
Yeah, absolutely. I said to Brad and Shannon, they asked if there was anything that I needed in this period, and I said no. I said I've got everything that I've got and that I need alongside me. You know, I've got absolute confidence in the staff. They know that they're going to have to step up and do you know, a little bit more just to cover the loss of Gaz. The players are right on side. They've been excellent throughout, so I have no qualms about anything with them. I think it's a strong team ethic here anyway. So, you know, we'll just cover what we need to cover for the time being and try and keep it as normal as we possibly can.
Off to Stadium MK, it's a huge pitch there, good place to play football. Bit of housekeeping, any new injuries, anyone coming back into the fold? What selection headaches have you got? Yeah,
we've got a couple of little niggles off the back of the weekend that we're monitoring, so we'll see how that pans out over the course of the next couple of days. But it's nice because we've got Seb and Shad and Rowie and that all coming back into fitness and around the squad. It's the reason we have a squad. We have a strong squad and we believe in all of them. So you know, we're going to rotate along the way, and I trust each and every one of them.
Lovely. Dobbo, thanks very much. Matt, all yours.
We just start talking about Gareth. Obviously, the situation's a very strange one. So how long have you known? I know the players, it's relatively recent for them, but I know there's planning behind this as well, and Gareth was thinking about almost when to have it done. But what was the situation for you two?
Yeah, so we found out a few months ago now. So one of the things I've got to credit the LMA with is that they supplied these health checks for management, and we all know that it's a pressure cooker in management, and they're told that it can take physically. So they do this on a regular basis, and this was picked up on one of Gaz's health checks. It was something that needed to be done, and Gaz could pick and choose when that was done, so it wasn't like they needed to rush him straight in. Having spoken with the owners and the rest of the staff, it was decided that this would be the right time to do it. It's something that needs to happen, because who knows how that manifests further down the line in terms of life. So, you know, hugely thankful to the NMA. I actually had the same health check about a month ago. And you go in, you spend a couple of hours in there. It's all very personable. They check everything, and you end up with a huge report at the end of it in all areas of your body. And I was fortunate. I come back with a clean bill of health, and you get peace of mind through doing it. But what if you get that one moment in the health check that suddenly shows something, and you know, you could be in a world of trouble if you didn't know. So massively thankful to the LMA. I've got to also credit the doctor, Dr. Peter Williamson, who did it. He did my test, he did Gareth's test, and you know, talk about unsung heroes in life, and we talk about heroes in sport all the time, but there's someone who's done his job, is a master in his field, and has picked up the issue with Gareth, and has you know, potentially saved a life further down the line. So massive thank you to Dr. Peter Williamson. He's a great guy. You know, I really enjoyed his company the time that I was there, but I don't think these people get enough credit in life, and here's an opportunity to say thank you.
Very reassuring for you, I guess, for those LMA checks, but also I suppose it's a lesson to many of us to get ourselves checked out in all sorts of ways.
Absolutely. I've got a good friend of mine who he was a referee, a good level and a fit guy, and he used to give blood quarterly. And he went in to give blood one time, and they said, your readings are down, you can't give blood. And he said, oh, that's strange. And they said to him, have you felt ill? And he said, no, I feel fine, no problem. He went and got that checked up with his doctor, and it turns out that he had cancer. So they caught it really early through going to the blood test, And because he was a fit guy, it could have been an aggressive form of cancer. And had he not had that blood test and found out, then we may have lost him. So I would say if you get an opportunity to get these tests, then absolutely do it. And I was actually speaking with Johnny Williams earlier and saying it's funny, because we give people rings and jewellery and stuff for Christmas and birthdays, but if you said I've paid £250 for you to go and get a full health check, people would probably look at you a little bit strange, but actually that could be the best thing you ever do for them. As I say, if it's peace of mind that you get out of it, as I have, then I'm massively thankful, and I understand a little bit more about how my body works. But if you're in a situation like Gareth where something suddenly flags up and it needs a little bit of work, then it's worth any money that you can put towards it.
Certainly puts things into context, doesn't it? Which is a good thing, I suppose, for anybody's way of making a living.
Yeah.
But you do have to go on now, and there are games to be played. It's a serious business for players and supporters and staff alike. Was there any message from Gareth, particularly to you? You've worked together for such a long time. Is there something that he said, a sort of key message he had? No,
it's just about trust. And he said to the boys the other day, just back me. Support me. I reiterated the same message today, and I said to the lads, look, I want to give Gaz as few problems as I possibly can over the next month. His health is the most important thing. So I said I need everybody pulling in the same direction so that we can keep any pressure away from him, because I know what he's like, and he'll be coming round from the op and wanting to get back on the touchline straight away. He needs time. He needs to recover. There's a great saying a few years ago. I was at a CPD day, and a fellow called Michael Caulfield, somebody whose work I would admired from afar. He's a psychologist at Brentford, and he came up with a great quote, and I think this encapsulates what football should be in life in the greater scheme of things. He said, football is the most important of all the unimportant things. And I think there's a great example of where it should sit in life in terms of our priorities. And I lost my dad to cancer 18 years ago. And I would swap everything I've ever done in football, all the trophies, the promotions, the money I've earned, to have him sat here with me today. So we have to understand where football sits. What we are blessed with is an opportunity to help make people's lives better as coaching staff, and whether that's the players that we work with and the fellow staff members, whether that's sort of filtering out into the community and through the fan base. Then we have great responsibility towards that. And for me, football is bigger than 3 points. We talk about looking at through football through the lens of black and white, of winning and losing. And actually, if you look at them two things and judge football by that, you miss all the colour in between. It's a wonderful sport. We can influence so many people's lives in such positive ways, and I think we should never lose sight of that importance.
I suppose in some ways that brings me on to the backing that you've had from the owners, the Gallansons. That they, in their statement, they said when we got Gareth, it wasn't just Gareth and somebody else, that you were a very important team. They respect you just as much as they respect Gareth. How good does that feel? They've been brilliant.
I've got to say, from the very first moment I met them, I felt that there was a synergy, and that we were very much working along the same lines. So they first approached us probably 18 months ago, and we were further down the line with something abroad at the time. But I remember saying to Gaz back then, if you want to do this, I will be right in with you, because I really like these people. I really think that there's synergy between us. We're all on the same page. So fortunately for us, they revisited it, and it was a no-brainer. I'm really, really happy here. I love it. I'm really enjoying the club and the people. Brad said to us, he spoke to us about a 2-year project, but one of the things he said to me is, 2 years because of the contract, but we hope this is a multi-year relationship, and I very much feel that way too. I think we've got some wonderful people around this football club. I think the football club is moving in a good direction. We've got further than I thought we might in a short space of time. I didn't expect us to grow quite as quickly as we have done. But it's still a long way to go. It's early days and no one's getting ahead of themselves. It's a work in progress.
Training, touchline without Gareth, he's a big personality, isn't he? It's going to be very different, I'd imagine. How do you, I suppose, protect the players from changes and try and keep the continuity?
We're just very open and honest with them, to be honest. So, Gareth has obviously told him what he's going to go through. He spoke to them the other day, and I sort of reiterated that message today. We've said we just want to keep this as normal as we possibly can. We want to give ourselves the best possible chance so that when Gaz comes back, he picks up the reins and we're in a good position in the league. We've started well. It's nothing more than a good start. No trophies, no promotions are won in October and November, and we've got to be mindful of the fact that there's another 4/5 of the season to go yet. So feet firmly on the ground. I've got to say that I thought the reaction to the defeat at the weekend was first class from everybody. We credited Harrogate and their staff when we had a drink with them afterwards. For their part, they played in the game. We thought they were brave first half. We thought they defended like Trojans second half, and sometimes you have to give credit to your opponents. But I thought the reception from the fans after the game was really promising, really good, because sometimes emotion takes over and you've lost a game of football and people can be miserable, but the reception they gave the players after the game was excellent, and I think they appreciate the fact that they've got a team that will fight till the end. Sometimes we might not get it right, sometimes we might be the wrong side of a result. The stats told us looking this week that it's going to be very rare that if we get that amount of entries into the final third again that we'll be on the wrong end of a scoreline, but it happens sometimes. But I thought that was acknowledged at the end, and the fans singing the players off at the end I thought was class.
At the end of a long unbeaten run and a record one for Gills as well, I mean, I'm sure that's a source of pride. Do you have to park that now when you think about the next game of what you've already achieved?
Yeah. We just got to try and build on the next run. That's what it's all about, just keep getting on these runs. As I said, you're going to hit defeat and disappointment from time to time. We've got to make sure that if anybody beats us, they've earned it, that we don't roll over and give it to them, and I think that will be a given under myself and Gaz. I don't think this side will ever roll over, and I don't think the boys are that type. So I think the fans recognise that. I think they recognise that there's a group of boys there that they can be proud of, that wearing the shirt really means a lot to them, and I wish I could show the fans the atmosphere in the dressing room before the boys play at Priestfield at the moment, because there's an energy and a buzz about it which is it's brilliant. It's not like that at every club. The players want to play here, they want to play in front of the fans, and because the fans have made this such a positive stadium to be in, the players have responded accordingly, which is great. Myself and Gaz said when we came in that we wanted this to be the best environment for the footballers in the country, and we truly believe that we will get to that point, and we'll make it the most positive environment. But if the fans can do the same, and this can be a beacon of positivity, then I think it's only good for the area, only good for the club, and only good for all those that come into contact with it.
Looking at your bench on Saturday, I don't think I've seen a Gills bench as strong as that, probably since they were in the division above. Maybe not for a time then as well. I mean, you've got resources at your disposal now. First defeat, people will be wondering, does that mean changes? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's hard because there's players that are sat on the bench that are training ever so well at the moment. It's hard to keep them on the touchline when they're chomping at the bit and as close as they are. So, we've got a nice situation that we can mix and match according to the opposition that we play, the tactics that we want to put into place. And we've said to the boys from the start, it's a squad game. We probably won't be that type that go, if the first 11 are winning, that's the first 11 that will play every week. We will change formation, we will change the personnel depending on what we need to do. And the boys understand that. They've been excellent so far. And every time we've changed, they've adapted. I'm really positive about the tactical acumen we have in the squad and their understanding and ability to change. For us, adaptability is crucial, and we seem to have a lot of it, first of all in the makeup of the squad, and secondly in the way that the boys deal with that.
Expectations of MK Dons, they've traditionally always been recently been a close passing side. They've obviously spent a lot of money on their team this year. What's the challenge? Yeah,
look, make no bones about it, this lot are a side that could well finish in the top three this season. They've had injury problems, and it's been tough for them at this stage of the season with so many players about. They've jiggled the side about square pegs in round holes, but they're good players. They've got a lot of match winners in their side, and Paul Warren's a really good friend of mine. He's somebody that I've got to know over the last year on a course. I always admired him from afar, his work at Rotherham, but having got close with him over the last year on the course, I've got to say he's a tremendous human being, absolutely love him, quirky, so authentic, and we've actually had a text conversation earlier in the week. Funnily enough, I told him to go and get his health check done, But I'm looking forward to seeing him. It'll be great to share a drink with him after the game, and he knows as well as I do we'll be doing everything we can to beat him during the game on Saturday, but afterwards we'll shake hands and share a drink, and it'll be good to catch up with him. He's a top manager. They've got good players. We know this is a tough test, but just as they're a good side, we're a good side too.
Talking about quirky but authentic, you might have described your management partner there. Are we expecting anything different from you on the touchlines from what we see normally?
Yeah, no snakeskin boots, unfortunately. I'm not sure I can pull them off. So, no, I've got to be authentic to myself. The boys will see if I try and do anything or be anything different. So they'll get the same Richard Dobson that they've had for the last 6 months. My style and Gaz's style would be very different, but there's no right or wrong ways in football. It's something I've learnt over the years. You respect everybody's way of doing stuff, and as long as you've got a reason behind it and you're authentic to what and who you are, then that's what you should be. So no tight jeans and snakeskin cowboy boots. I'll leave them to Gaz, but I'll do things my way. And look, I've had nearly 700 games in the Football League now. I've done this several times in the past when Gaz has been missing through illness or injury. 3 games in the Championship, several in League One and in League Two. So it's not unusual. I sort of fill in from time to time, and this is just another occasion.
We wish you very well.
Thank you.
Very much.
You're very different characters, aren't you? But it's a partnership that seems to work, isn't it?
Yeah. Our old chairman described us as yin and yang, and he said it's amazing because it meets in the middle and it works. And I would say that that's right. I don't think personally that you could have 2 people that are so energetic that suddenly the whole room is full of energy, and it can be a little bit daunting sometimes for some players who need maybe a calmer head to go to, and vice versa. I think there's people around me that are going to provide a little bit of energy around me because I'm very much a thinker and probably a little bit quieter, a tactician, I would say, and Gaz is the one that provides the energy at the weekend. So, I might have to step up a little bit in that regard. I enjoy it. I love the pressure of football. I love in the past when I've taken a team and been the number one. I love it. I enjoy it. So it's not something that phases me. I'm quite relaxed about doing it. It's just how that all marries together with the rest of the staff and the bits that the other staff play.
Because you're sort of thrust into the limelight, literally, aren't you? Now, but you don't mind.
No. When we were in the Championship, Gaz injured his back quite badly. He got rushed in for an emergency operation. So I was literally told a couple of days beforehand, you're taking the team against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. And we got a 1-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday, and then we went to Birmingham on the Tuesday, and we got a 2-1 win at Birmingham. And then we had a really strong Nottingham Forest side on the Saturday, and we got beat 2-0. But that was the first 2 wins in Wycombe's Championship history, and it was nice because you always worry about, can I carry the flag for somebody else, and will I do it justice? And I think those days were the days where I went, no, I can do this. So, up against Gary Monk and Aita Karanka, and people who are well established in the game. But I think over the years, all the studying that I've done, the work I've done on the touchline, the learning, if I haven't got the pieces in place by now, then I probably shouldn't be doing the job. So I'm calm. I'm calm about what the next month or so brings. I don't know the exact time frame. It'll be as long as Gaz needs. But in the meantime, I'll give it the job all due respect and do the very best I can in it.
In some ways, you've got to keep it core, so the continuity as it is. In some ways, you can't change too much, can't go off track too much.
No, there'll be no crazy changes. We're not going to play 5 up front all of a sudden. And no, it will be, as I said, respectful of what we've done so far. What we've done so far has worked clearly. We'll do our due diligence on the opposition as we normally do, and we'll make our decisions on there. Gaz will play a part in that as he comes round and he recovers at home. We'll obviously be talking on the phone. He'll be watching games and he'll have his input. I think this weekend is probably going to be too soon, and Tuesday, given what he's going through. But beyond that, he'll start to work his way back into it in some manner until such point that he can be alongside us.
And you've enjoyed wins at MK before. I think after one, Gareth said, and has said it a few times, possession could do one. He's not a massive fan of possession-based football, is it? What's your sort of views on it?
No, do you know what? It's how you use possession. And as I said earlier, adaptability is key. So I'm very much about in-game decision making and the way that I coach. Nowadays you see a lot of managers that are really structured and players have to play in certain positions, and it's almost become a little bit like chess. And it's one of the things that I think the game's a little bit worse for, in the fact that the manager seems to be in charge of everything, and you're taking away some of the spontaneity and creativity away from players. And I'm the opposite of that. I want to give the boys the best possible chance of success when they're out there. So we train a lot of problem solving, so that they become good problem solvers on the pitch. We speak to them about having free rein to make changes if they see fit in terms of what they do. It's not fully structured. They play within the team structure, but there is an element of freedom to them and trust. And I think as a consequence of that, you're seeing a few boys that I'm told are playing as well as they've ever played at the club. And I think having that trust and freedom to express themselves within the team structure is probably the sweet spot for us.
And the team are creating a lot more opportunities. They're scoring more goals. You might not score on Saturday, but you created a lot, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you had a big part to play in that, didn't you? I think Gareth said you were working with sort of struggles.
Yeah. I enjoy the attacking side of things. I enjoy coaching it. I enjoy the creativity, and I enjoy inspiring the boys to show that creativity. I think football's an art sometimes, and you can stifle people. And actually, I don't want these boys finishing their careers and saying I was 60% the player I could have been because I was stifled by the coach. I want them to go, I work with someone that gave me full licence to express myself, and they saw the very best version of me. So that's the way that I try to be. I try to encourage them to express themselves in whatever role they play, and I hope that we're seeing some of that creativity in games now. There's more to come. There's a lot more to come from them. We certainly haven't hit the ceiling with this group. It's just now giving them the belief to do what I see in training. Some of the stuff I see in training is top draw for the level.
Thank you.
How did Richard Dobson take the news of Gareth Ainsworth?
Bearing in mind it was a little while ago now, it was a bit of a surprise. Gaz is obviously a fit human being, so he looks after himself, he keeps himself in good shape. So when it hits somebody like that, it is a bit of a surprise. It does take you back a little bit, and you suddenly realise that we're all human, and that it could happen at any stage to anybody. But it was a pretty matter of fact straight away. You've got to do what you've got to do here. We're here to support you. You need to go and get this sorted. And I know certainly the Gallinsons were very supportive of Gaz, without putting any pressure on him, making sure that he got it done in the earliest possible time frame.
Would you prefer the home style?
No, you get what you're given. I don't worry about those things too much. You've got to play everybody twice over the course of a season, and sometimes you play teams and they're in really good form, other times you catch them at the right time, and sometimes there's a new manager and they get a bounce. It's much of a muchness. If we want to be a good side at this level, we've got to play and beat teams like MK Dons away. As I said to the boys today, there's no fear. We don't go to MK Dons fearing. We respect absolutely, but these are the sort of games that if we want to be a top side, then they're the ones we've got to thrive in.
From a personal point of view, will there be that sort of little tingle when the fans start singing your name on Saturday?
Do you know what? I don't expect it. Honestly, I don't expect it. It's really funny actually, because I'm so focused within games that I kind of block out everything else that's going on the outside and concentrate on what's going on between them white lines. So sometimes I don't really get a full picture of what the fans have been like until after the game, and then you watch it back on TV and you go, it's really loud today. What's been great is that our opponents, every home game we've played this season, the opponents' management staff have come in and commented on how vociferous our fans have been and how much they've backed us. So, I'm well aware that we have strong backing. The fans have been first class here. It's a high energy stadium, and when you're in high energy stadiums, you want it to be positive because hugely supportive of the boys, and it inspires them to better things. When that changes and there's a negativity around it and it's high energy, it can be difficult, and we've had that in the past with clubs we've been at. So the longer that we can keep this positivity going, and even through the tough times, if the fans can do what they did the other day and sort of help them boys through the tough times. As long as they recognise that there's effort behind what they do and positive intention, I think the fans will stick with us. And I love these high energy clubs. I love the clubs that truly represent the local fan base, and I think this is one of them. We're going through a decent time at this moment in time, but I'm well aware that the club's fallen off, having had good starts in the last couple of years. So we've got to try and maintain this for as long as we possibly can, and hopefully stick around the positions that we're in for as long as we can.
And with tongue firmly in cheek, has Gareth been told not to ring you Saturday?
I told him not to ring me, actually. Yeah, I said to him, I'm not going to call you until you're ready to speak. Because I don't want to disrupt his recovery. I don't know if he's asleep in a hospital or what sort of mental state he's in. So I said to him, listen, I'm not going to call you. When you're ready, you give me the okay, and we'll speak when you're ready. But there's no pressure on that. We have to respect the recovery that he's going through first and foremost, and when the time's right, we'll have conversations.
So it'll be 5:05 start, yeah?
There's every chance with Gaz, yeah. There's every chance, and that's the thing. We've got to put the reins on him a little bit, because you're talking about high energy. Gaz is that type of person. So sometimes we've got to rein people in a little bit. And as I said to the staff, we need to protect Gaz over the next month as much as anything. So we'll do our jobs here. Obviously, Gaz wants to be informed of everything that's going on, and we'll make sure that's the case. But we'll make sure there's no dramas over the next month, and we'll see where we are in a month's time, and whether it's any longer than that, or whether he's ready to return.
Thank you. Good luck.